Hello, everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time it is for you or you are. It is afternoon for me. Kind of approaching evening, to be honest with you. We're on pretty late today. Hello. The emote looks like it's working for me. I see the hazel flexes. I wonder why you don't. It's weird. Welcome, everybody. I'm late, but I'm here. I haven't done any WoW for the week yet, so I know there's weeklies to do, so I figured that's my plan. We have a nice pot of tea. It's, I think, some variety of honey lemon ginseng. It's the Tetley one that I usually have when I'm not feeling 100%. Hiya, Hazel. Thanks for streaming. I got you. I'm on for a bit. Never late. Always on time. I don't think we're doing 3 hours today. But we'll do what we can, and then I'll be on hopefully same time or normal time tomorrow, unless I'm really, really ill. But I don't, I don't really want to take a sick day right now. Bought War Within at the weekend. Finished Dragonflight 79 now. Oh, you've been cruising. Always Hazel o'clock. You can't be late. You know what? You're right. Let's see. The only thing I did log on to do is Vault. So I took a Myth Track tier piece because, I mean, honestly, the stats aren't so good for me. I was just really tired of not taking myth slot stuff, and I already had a socket adding device sitting around in my bags from last week's vault, so I didn't have it in me to not take a piece of gear again this week. So I took a piece and then I upgraded it just for the item level, if nothing else. Gear or weekly wise, the things that I want to do are mainly collecting-y things. So I want to do you know what, actually? I want to do Flames Radiant, so that's going to be starting in like 5 minutes. I should probably just head out there. I think I have, well, you know what, we'll just go. We'll just fly out there. Let's be early, huh? Let's leave early and then get there early. What a concept that is. First time seeing you stream, watching your raid videos. Aw, shucks, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. I'm on at a weird hour again today. I'm normally on much earlier in the day. I'm glad we got you. Late stream. This is the Pearlescent Butterfly mount. This was Trading Post from a couple of months back, I think. Yeah. This is my favorite Trading Post mount they've ever done. That's nice. I have large pot of tea with ducky tea cozies, so that'll stay hot for a while. That's good. How you guys doing today? How's your week going so far? I guess it's the middle of the week for most people. It is. It's Wednesday. You know. Hump day. May Trading Post announced? Oh, good. I should take a look at that. If I get to the event with time to spare, which I might do, then maybe I'll start to look into getting that pulled up, because I want to take a look at it on stream. I haven't seen it yet. I know May is tomorrow. It is in fact going to be May. Should probably be prepared a little bit. May Trading Post. Oh. I wonder if I'm gonna I wonder if it's gonna be a tend to go down or tend to go up month for me, because for the past, what feels like half a year, I don't know if that's accurate, but for a long time it feels like I've been saving. I got very stingy all of a sudden. So I've been earning more tender than I've been spending, but I figured I was earning it for something. You know, one day they're going to have a month that just speaks to me to such a degree that I could spend a lot of tender if I wanted to. Big news for 11.17 if you want to go through it. Oh, I am late today. Holding off on doing new Children's Week stuff. Been hard wanting new pets. Until tomorrow. Is tomorrow... Oh, for the Trading Post. That makes sense. I was like, Dark Moon Fair? No. For the Trading Post, that does make sense. I should do that tomorrow. That's a great idea. I heard there were new Children's Week activities. I don't know what they are, but the way I came about it was a friend sent me just the headline from the Wowhead article that was like, new orphans. Like, that's like great news, everybody. We've got brand new orphans, which is just it's just funny. When the star shifts in a grim kind of way. That's fun. I think it's funny because they're digital. All right, I have my 3 dailies, and then the scenario should be starting in just about a minute. Guessing tender go down. There's a very cute mount you'll want. Well, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Sometimes people don't know me. Sometimes people think I'm gonna like something and I don't because I'm evil and grumpy. I was gonna check my graphics settings because I feel like the shadows look surprisingly, well, I guess they're a little fuzzy. As a pet, never mind. Check while waiting on the event to start. I think I only have about a minute. I have 0 seconds. I think maybe I'll get to it after the event. I think I might do this first. I know you probably have time in the meantime while the event's actually going on, but I didn't realize for the longest time I could actually scroll here to see the Flames Radiance renown. I'm still 1. I didn't exactly giga farm it last week. We got the tabard. That's all. I suppose I haven't looked through this to figure out what it is that I'm excited about. Obviously, there's a pet. Mr. Man's the cat. And then I'm sure there's going to be a cat mount. There's another pet. Gotta be a cat mount. There it is. Radiant Imperial Link, so you can buy that. We're down 9. Any luck? I want the mail toy. Oh, is there like a new cosmetic mailbox for it? Let me see. That is Arathi Entertainer's Flame. Those are resonance crystals. Looks like you get resonance crystals basically every renown. That's your Arathi service stipend. Vendor sells it. This wow. It is always here. It's a nice thing about it. You know, you can take breaks and it's generally, at least so far in my life, it's always been here.
Prepare yourselves. The Sareki are on the move and ready to strike.
Alright, prepared. Let's see if I actually get jobs this time. I think so. The last time I did this event on an alt that I was leveling, I found that it was actually giving me objectives to do and not just mobs to kill, so I have high hopes that this is in better shape now. If I want to collect as much as possible from this event, I really should consider Flames Radiance Banner. That's just a banner toy. I really should consider doing basically all of my 80s through the event at least once in the week to get another token to trade for gear. I think that'll make things wildly faster. Webbed Scouts. Alright, you betcha. I'll stop looking through my all the things for just a hot second. Objective's finally fixed. Yeah. I'm sure it won't redeem the event for plenty of people. There's, I'm sure, people that tried it in the first week and then went, well, never mind, and will never come back. But it's good for me, because I want, I want to collect some of these things, and I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to make it easier to. Actually, you know what? I don't know what it's going to make it easier to do. Fill the coffer, maybe? Oh, it looks like that does have stuff to get as well, actually. All the things seems to think there's some cosmetics they can drop from the coffer box specifically. That'd be something. Wish I had time. Having a 9-month-old kind of takes precedence. That is absolutely fair. That is 1000% a good priority. This event's going to take 9 minutes? Good. I'm assuming that's the entire event thing and not just how long we're going to be doing Web Scouts for. Especially because I haven't been a huge help with Web Scouts. I think I did 1. It seems like a shared objective. Hi Hazel, how's your day going? Hello. Day's going okay. I haven't had any unmitigated disasters yet. Had some mitigated disasters. It's been a long day. Both my partner and I woke up feeling not 100%. Maybe a little cold or something. But we had like a window to see a house. So we went and we saw and we made it. I think my realtor's also a bit ill, so maybe it's just going around. Maybe everybody's got it. Just kind of a long day. There we go. Good. When I was doing vaults this week, I realized I didn't do very many delves. I had great ambitions to do delves in all of my 80s, and I don't think I did any of them. I had basically no vault on Anthus. I had a little vault on my Warlock from having just done like some weekly objectives. I'm pretty sure half my characters got their keys and then did nothing with them last week. That was not what you hoped for. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's not, I don't know. It's hard. Honestly, one of the things that kind of threw me off, which I think I can say without doxing it, is that we get there and a neighbor is like, can I help you? and she's like chasing us down basically, and like really aggressive. And it's like, yes, we're here for a showing. They're like, oh, and is the realtor there? And I'm like, yes. Like, I did not feel wildly welcome, and I don't know if I want to live as a neighbor to somebody like that. It would make it very inconvenient to have guests or deliveries or anything, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's exactly the person that you want to have on your side, if there is anything nefarious, but I don't know. It was a lot. It was not what I needed today. Wow, Weeklies suffered terribly from the Oblivion remaster coming out. Although if that is what the neighbor situation is like, then that's good to know now, kind of thing. It's just hard because otherwise the place is lovely. Nothing, and it's, I don't know. It's we're gonna do some talking and some looking and stuff. Our wedding's also in like less than 2 weeks at this point, so there's a strong argument to be made for just like chill on house showings for a little bit, because like what am I gonna do, inspections like during my honeymoon? I should probably take it easy. I just can't get this thought out of my head that there's one house that is destiny, and if it goes up at an inconvenient time, I need to be ready to jump on it. Bit of an intense neighbor. Yeah, and I know like it's a pretty, like I'm moving from the city, and all of the places that I'm looking at are more rural and they're smaller communities, so I don't really mind getting like inquisitive looks from people, because basically every place has had that, is like neighbors being like, who are you? Because it's, you know, they know everybody that's in that area because there's not that many people there. And I think once you know people, that's fine, but it was just a lot. Could be someone who's also looking for that house trying to scare you off. If so, they were very committed to the bit. They went into the neighbor's yard after. Anyway. We'll see. Might have some more showings coming up, despite me saying that I shouldn't do it. We might. There's a lot of oh, it's all fine. Everything's all right. I'm gonna stop complaining and drink my tea. Did you hear about the Ian interview? I didn't. Ian does a lot of interviews though, right? Was it a? I'm just gonna wait for you to tell me.
Get in there and squash them.
One button rotations. Literal one button rotations. Okie dokie. There's a video / article, a 40-minute interview. It's like a long time to say that. They talked about introducing rotation assist. Oh, that could be interesting. Heard about a rotation helper, need to watch it. Yeah, I definitely haven't seen that. 40 minutes? I guess if there's an article as well, then that's all right. I can't write it off without having seen the article, because you have watched the interview and I have not, but literal one button rotation sounds like clickbait. Came out today, people are pretty divided on it. Talked about the future of add-ons, accessibility, trying to bake in more options, base game instead of creating an arms race with add-ons. Yeah, that makes sense. Time to go to work. Glad I got to see you briefly. Have a lovely time at work. Finally getting your wish. They're looking into incorporating nameplate changes. Nice. That is about time. That one's been needed. Need to just watch it. All 40 minutes of it? Gosh. Hi Hazel, how's Moose and Kira doing? I mean, I know it's ironic coming from a streamer, but like, I like information delivered in 7 minutes or less. Actually, I prefer to read information rather than watching it. I don't know. I don't know about watching things. Can I get a transcript? Highlighting recommended buttons based on what's going on. 2 is literally press a single button that auto-cycles them with a small penalty, increase GCD. I mean, it sounds like a nice accessibility option for somebody that is looking for that kind of thing. It sounds like they wouldn't make it competitive with the amount of throughput that you could get from playing naturally, right? To the Wowhead Cliff Notes. I feel like I had to read it myself before seeing it in Twitch chat. What am I doing? I'm dropping and rolling to put out flames, but nothing's on fire? Oh no, I'm on fire, I see. Accessibility, those who want to do normal WoW collecting stuff do not care about optimizing. Yeah, that sounds fine. That sounds great. Sounds like kind of almost a nice thing to do for alts if you wanted to, if you had characters of classes that you thought you were going to be like really sick at, and then you're like, oh, I actually have no idea what's going on here, but I just want to do a little normal dungeon or something, or like a world boss. Super curious what Blizz thinks our rotations are. Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't be anything that's like... It may not be 100% optimal, especially when optimal turns out to be like strange cutting edge tech or like making use of, you know, cooldown interactions or trinket interactions or whatever. Like obviously like a top player should probably be able to outplay something like that. Take some time for the community to get used to, but a good thing. People a chance to contribute to lower level content, do a decent job, no downside. Having to get a certain distance from the target for Arcane to land certain things in a specific order. Yeah. A wild idea, they should let us do Mythic plus follower dungeons. Oh. Yeah? Talked about adding more features and rating and combat add-ons, yeah. Interesting. I think that's probably smart for the future health of the game. Making it more accessible to more people and also newer people. But yeah, would need to... Oh, are we doing something good? Yeah, we're doing something. I'm sure there are sides of it that I haven't thought about because I just found out about it now.
The cowardly crawlers are retreating. Rally to me and we will finish this fight. The cowardly crawlers are retreating.
I'm assuming this just came out today, huh?
And we will finish this
See if there's like an article. Blizzard version of rotation assist coming.
We are the Flames Radiance, defenders of Merildar, and today we hold.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a couple. It looks like there's a few different articles, or at least two. I've got two of them here. One of them about the rotation assist, and one of them about basically in-house weak auras, or the in-game default UI kind of weak auras. Blizzard wants to build their own versions of popular in-game add-ons such as DBM, bigwigs, nameplates, even damage meters to give players more information within the base game. Unlike the rotation helpers, these are future ideas that they would like to develop in order to combat the continually growing reliance on third-party tools. Reducing computational weak auras that solve and counter problems is their main focus. Raising the information floor by giving players more built-in tools to know what's going on and how to handle it is the first step in that direction. That makes sense. Some changes may require restricting what info add-on developers have access to. And more weak auras than damage meters or boss mods. Yeah. That seems fine. That seems to be moving away from a version of the game that we arguably do already live in, where you kind of have to have certain add-ons or weak auras or whatever to be not seen as a liability within a group. Yeah, we got a couple of blue posts that look like that we can see. What do you guys think? Curious if they're gonna have a native heal bot add-on. I feel that it's not needed, but that's just because of how I'd like to heal with native mouse over. Got me excited, want it now. Yeah, after this, we'll take a look at these articles, and then we'll take a look at Trading Post. And then we'll see where we're at. It sounds like, and I really shouldn't talk too much before reading the article, because I'm just kind of basing this off of what I'm getting at a Twitch chat, but it's just raising the floor of the game to make it easier to get into. It's not going to stop anybody from that wants to apply themselves and achieve excellence. And you're still going to, you know, I think it's just going to make things more accessible for people that want it, you know. It's not like you have to use it. If like using like a one button rotation helper became the only way to maximize damage and they were doing more damage than anybody trying to do it themselves in some weird alternate universe, that would be a problem, but that I feel like would be both not what they're philosophically aiming for, but also like wildly unlikely. Even without the GCD penalty they talked about. Yeah, that's like the only actual fear-mongering scenario that I feel like would be valid if it was true, and I don't think that's even remotely true. Grandpa's super excited. He had to stop playing recently. Excited for him to be able to play to some level at least. Aww. Good luck getting a computer to manage Doom Chicken's astral power bar.
The sacred flame blesses us with victory, but stay vigilant.
What did I get? I got a wand. Transmog. Is it cute? Sure.
Victory for the flame's radiance. Take a moment for celebration.
And then how much rope do you get for that? 350. And then 75, and then 75. Okay. All right.
Sacred flame guide your way, friend.
So we've got an emblem of service. I've got 2 emblems of service actually.
Step into the
I must
light.
not have bought anything last month or last
May
week
the
rather.
shadows pass you by.
Did I not get shoulders? I thought I got shoulders. I don't know why I have an extra one. Weird. Anyway, don't see any reason why not. Do chest and I suppose helmet.
Imperial steel conquered our continent.
Okay. Go find a nice quiet place to park my character. And get gear from the caches. Yeah, I was just wondering how I ended up with an extra... I mean, I guess I must not have spent it last week. That's the only reason I would have an extra one. Okay. We're just gonna catch up on the Wowhead articles here from the interview. So tons of add-ons that are healthy and valuable and important to how players play the game that do rely on flow of information. Everything from something as simple as damage meters to boss timelines, DBM style, when is this next ability going to fire that people have been raiding with forever. That's not the competition that WeCore is. That's just, hey, this ability is going to happen in 15 seconds. We want to build in our own version of that. I think down the line, we'd love to see a place where there is a boss timeline as just part of the encounter UI, and that's not something you should need an add-on for. All in favor of that. That way we can hopefully get to a point where we're cutting out the WeCore that solves the mechanic for you, but not the informational stuff that you feel like the game should have really been telling you all along, where add-ons are admittedly kind of filling some gaps there. Makes sense. Don't have patch dates, but we're looking at damage meters, nameplate improvements. Those are long overdue. This is going to be controversial. Looking at raid encounter info presentation that shows you timelines, things coming up. Yeah, that's good. Especially if you can do it in a way that somebody can position it so it's not overwhelming to them. Players say right now you need this thing to be competitive. How do we change our game to make that not the case? They've made it clear that some changes might require restricting what info add-ons have access to, aimed more at WeCores than anything else. Mm-hmm. And then this is just Wowhead's commentary on it. Boss mods generally maintain in unison with community strategies, more difficult to do from the dev end. Most popular add-on used across the entire game is Damage Meter by a fair margin. Majority of players have a Damage Meter add-on installed, indicates that people want to see that information at least about themselves. Want more nuanced measures of success and understanding. How successful were you and how much did you contribute on this run? That makes a lot of sense. It is, like, damage meters I think are always going to be a bit controversial, although less so than things like logs. But it is a bit bananas that if you're playing with completely no add-ons, you don't necessarily have any way of telling, like in a group fight, what it is, whether or not what you're doing is working. I always forget about that because meters are like such a established part of the game and the ecosystem. Highlighting things like interrupts, highlighting things like avoidable damage to give a fuller picture of performance at the end of the day. Weird sentence. Must be transcribed. Someone who's trying a new spec, trying a new talent build, putting on and getting a new trinket, they want to see, like, how did this affect my performance? That's an important piece of info to have. In any world where we were going to limit some of the ability of add-ons to do that real-time combat event tracking, we would need to provide a damage meter solution of our own. One of the exciting things, if we're doing it on our end, we can have it be server authoritative, so you're not worried about who's in a different combat phase and who's out of range or whatever. That is nice. This is official and is going to be accurate all the time. Yeah, interesting. Okay. The second article that I pulled was about the rotation assist. Hold on. This one. Blizzard version of rotation assist coming in 11.17. Here's a summary, but you should listen to the full Wowcast for the full context. Good to know. Maybe we'll put this on during raid. Light up the next button. A rotation assist in the base UI that could light up the next button that you should press, or have a one-button keybind at a cost of a slightly longer GCD. It's not supposed to be optimal, but it's supposed to be useful in the same way that people use Hakili. This is some of the stuff that we read before about disarmament. They want to build their own versions of popular things. Audio prompts are super valuable to people, and they want to add support for that. That was feedback they had about the 11.1.5 cooldown manager. True. They want to flag high priority interrupts in Mythic Plus. That's very nice. That would be good. In a world without add-ons, encounters could have mechanics that don't require everyone. Things are slower and there's more time to react organically. Preserve challenge while living in a different world, and every mechanic will have to be designed in a different way. Everything cosmetic should be completely fair game. So hard to say without context, but that sounds like that they're not aiming any add-on restriction to cosmetic add-ons. It's fine. Cool. Let's find a trading post, huh? Love hiding my details meters. It's just so ugly. I hide my details sometimes. I actually have a macro, a /details toggle macro that I stick on my bar so I can click it to pull details up and put it away. And I do it, one, if I'm like doing damage and I think my damage is terrible and I just don't want to see. But more often I do it if I feel like I'm healing like a tough pull that I feel like we could maybe kill it, but I don't know if we're going to, and I'm like really trying my best. I hide it both so that I'm not distracted by it, and I can just focus on doing the best job for the encounter as possible, but also because I like at the end pulling it up to see, oh, was it good? Yeah, it was good. I like surprising myself like that. All right. These dogs need help. It's first the sea turtles, now the puppies. Okay. May Trading Post will bring you joy with new pets to add to your collection. This month, welcome Weechi, the customizable pet, to your collection. Oh my gosh, it's finally the chickens and hats that Jeremy Fiesel promised me in 2017. You can dress this adorable buddy in several available costumes. Alright, so there's a mount. You are correct, I do need this. Spring Harvest Hog. Most energetic early in the morning. It will spend most of its days snuffling for food or bellowing out calls for other harvest hogs. It's like... Remember a time when we had an event where we went back to Hillsbrad Foothills? That's where it was from Kata. Hillsbrad. So not Arathi for the war fronts, but Hillsbrad? You go to Hillsbrad for Christmas, or Wintervale. You go there to free Metz and the reindeer. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Okay, there's also a Bakar mount, probably a Tyvan recolor for 325 tender. This mount is 550. There's also a new Skitterfly mount for 600. I will certainly get the Harvest Hog. I'm probably going to skip the other two. There's a Rocket Chicken and a Frumpy Soft Paw. Does it say what that is? Oh, it does. Oh, it's one of those. Okay. Talk to me about the Rocket Chicken. Yep. All right. And then we have Heroic Half Shell, back piece. Attire of the Swift Fox. That is a set, obviously. I thought it was going to kind of give Kigurumi energy, and instead it gives I've been lost in the wilderness for 24 days and zipping myself into this recently killed mammal is the only way I'm going to make it through this night energy. Like, those eyes are dead, right? I feel like also without the hood, it's just like very forgettable. Like the rest of, like, I guess I haven't seen what the shoulders look like from behind. She needs a nap, still want it. Oh, and I thought they smelled bad on the outside, yeah. And then you've got wraps, skirts, masks. Cool witch staff. This would maybe get me in darker colors. I think I have a dress staff, though. And then we've got nunchucks. Some Ninja Turtle references. There's a sword. And then the bonus reward. Okay, so I don't have to buy this. They're going to give this to me. They're going to put in a pet grooming station, which sounds like Rostrum, but for pets. And basically this guy named Weechi, he adores detention. What better way to get attention than wearing a costume? Also by dyeing him into different colors. Dress him up in a variety of costumes. Are you going to make me unlock them? Or are you just going to give them to me? Can't wait to see Volpera wearing the fox hood. That is probably the only acceptable use of this fox hood for me is to put it on a Volpera. Oh dear. Grew up with Chihuahuas. One of them looked just like that pet. I'm excited. Yeah. I think that the dog is kind of cute. Although the head-on image is kind of freaking me out. The costumes, I know people like dogs in costumes. I know it's a digital dog. It's not real. It doesn't care. It just looks like it swam into a pool toy and it's stuck and it can't get out and someone needs to help him. All right. Well, that sorts out what we're going to do tomorrow. Is this I need. This is very important. I like that he looks like he's got sharp nibblers. He's got little rodent paws. We have the crab shake. Did we need this? All right, neat. Cool. Interesting. I wonder if there's going to be any, I mean, I'm not going to find out, but I wonder if there's going to be any community rage over the idea of Blizzard finally doing in-game damage meters, or if that category of anger got kind of slurped up already by the Archon add-on. Once the first clutch is fully grown, I shall fight the alpha male for dominance and beat him. This seems like a reference to something that I've missed. Should I do a group? Do people do groups for this? I thought I heard that somebody did. Let me take a look. Nope, not add-ons. But I'm generally well in favor of Blizzard adding more in-game versions of popular add-ons. It just makes it just makes the game better generally. I like edit mode a lot. Anything else seems like a good idea. Yeah. I'm already a third of the way done. I think I'm just being silly. I think I can just do it. Need Blizz to go a month without putting mounts in the trading post so I can financially recover. If you want plate warband gear, you need to do this on a plate character. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to do this on a character of each armor type, to be honest. To get the purple sets, and then probably, what, like a warrior to kind of maximize your weapon chances? Although, by maximizing your weapon chances, your warrior's also going to have the widest weapon drop pool if you were trying to get a specific weapon. I think the smartest thing for me to do, Flames Radiance-wise, is to not worry. Be happy. Not worry about trying to get everything, and instead try to just collect things that I'm specifically excited to use. So the mounts, the pets. The transmog sets are nice. I'd like to get lots of them. I don't know if I'm going to stick it out. I don't think I'm going to put in the effort to stick it out and actually like complete all of them. Maybe I'll try to complete like the cloth set. That would make sense for my main. Come quick with the dailies. The white set's a bit worse. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think that I'm going to lose steam for this event on exactly the day where I finish the reputation. I think it's going to be very hard for me to be motivated to continue to do these dailies when I'm at Renown 10 with these people. Use this to get Elfar normal tier mod, as usual. It's a good idea. Probably done when I get the mail toy. I think I'm just more, if I had time, and I do, if I have time for farming cosmetics, I'd rather do better, although I am getting them. It is nice to be getting, whatchamacallem, Nerubian chitin. I'd rather get Undermine stuff. I'd rather get the Goblin stuff. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping up with my Goblin weeklies. I'm going to have a batch of World Quest to do today, as well as fresh weeklies. Maybe you'll be able to buy something. Those are leaving. Alright. First bag has sandals. I already have those. Although, you know, it's always nice to get veteran warband gear for alts. Maybe my mage will use them. The mage is, I think, level 77 still. I did not do any extra leveling over my weekend. It's been fun leveling extra alts. At a certain point, though, I'm going to need to narrow down my goals so I don't get super overwhelmed. I think the times in WoW when I'm most likely to get burned out is when I'm bouncing between a ton of different things, and I don't feel like I have a strong idea of what I actually want to be doing and what I'm really, truly, like, motivated to do. As soon as I start doing things just because I feel like I should do them, but I'm not really sure why, that's like the death sentence. When I'm like, oh, well, it's here, or it's new, or I guess there's like a mog that I'm never going to wear. Like, that's... That kind of... I can't sustain that kind of completionism. I know other people can. I need to feel like I'm really want something in order to be working on it. Otherwise, I'm just kind of spinning my wheels. How are we doing? I like having them be crabs. Yeah, if we finish getting the purple mog before the Renown, It'll depend a little bit on if I use other characters for it, though, because the purple nog for other armor types might be harder if I'm not doing the dailies on that particular character. Turn down 2 and have both of the cloth and mail sets done. Patch is awkward because I have so much Undermine rep to work on still, but I already started burning out there, and now I've got this new event too. If I had more memory than a goldfish, it would probably be fine, because I could just do the new thing while it's new until I get bored. Cycle back to the, like, just rotate things, basically. Like, cycle back to something after you've had a bit of a break from it to keep working on it. But practically, I know that once I stop doing something that was modern content, it could be years and years and years before I ever cycle back to it. So I want to feel like I finished the main things. I'm always going to have something to do. I don't think this is a real problem. I just need to pick a project, I think. Committed to the white set for my undead DK. Yeah, that's the kind of motivation I feel like that's great. When you like, there's something that you like and you want it. And you're all in on it. For a second I thought I was going to be able to go in. What if that's what the door to Inksy's player house looks like? It's just like a little hole in the side of a rock. Little hobbit hole. I'm growing disgruntled with the dailies since they've moved on to weeklies in Dragonflight. Yeah, I did the dailies exactly once. So to me, they may as well have been weeklies. I'm pretty sure I did not go back to repeat them on any days last week. I did them on the same day that I did the weekly, and then I was like, well, I'm done. See you next week. Way too many warband pieces. Don't have enough ults to use them up. Yeah, I could see them starting to clog up some banks. I may eventually reach a point where I need to go through my warbank and disenchant probably first the things that are like adventure quality, because if I'm getting this much veteran gear, I'm not really going to need to hang on to, like, you know, adventure or rings and stuff that are just sitting around.
Step into the light. May the shadows
Okay.
pass you by.
That bag had some pants. Which I think I had already. One more. An extra 100 rep. Am I going to reach 2?
Our airship
I did reach
engineers
2.
are running
Wow.
dangerously low
We can
on
buy
space.
a Arathi Entertainer's Flame. I wonder how much that's going to cost. Anything under a certain item level got DE'd my bank. Yeah, I think that's going to be me soon. Come to Classic. Wow. Oh, that's okay. Have fun there, though. I like Classic a lot for hardcore. And I did that when it came out the first time, and I did it again when it came out the second time. And I more or less did what I came to do, which was have fun for a couple of weeks. This is Lightbringer. I play on Lightbringer Realm. Collecting's gotten too competitive for me. Trying to take a step back. Is there anybody like in your circle that's making it that way, or is it just kind of like access to all of these like server rankings and things that kind of show like how that kind of quantify your collection, I guess I could say? Because that's supposed to be the one nice thing about collecting, is that it's very much you versus you. It shouldn't really... I mean, I suppose you can do it any way that you want. People do compete, but I don't know. I think competition would take it right out of me. Oh, that's the male toy. It summons a lynx. Interesting. I do like that, although functionally I don't know if I'm gonna actually use it, because I have the whale Brutosaur mount that has the mailbox just on it. So now that that's kind of part of the ecosystem, it's hard to say. It's hard to imagine myself. I mean, I have the other toys, and I don't really super use them. Not a huge, I guess for an area where you can't mount. You're expecting mail, but you cannot mount up. Indoor raids. Yeah, but to pick up what mail? Normally the mail is from something that you bought in the auction house using an auction house mount. I guess if you got something like, I don't know, you sold some auctions and you need to pick them up, in the middle of the raid to make sure you can continue affording your repairs. Just need an auctionist toy now. Don't have a competition. I have ATT pointing at all the things that I don't have. We should have collection appreciation day where you appreciate the things that you do have. Oh. Twitch chats and discords. Something that made me appreciate my collection was seeing on, was it Data for Azeroth? I think it might have been. There's one feature that plots your collection. I think it was Transmog that I looked at on like the bell curve of how it compares to other WoW accounts just in general, so that you can see how you rank compared to everybody and not just other collectors. And that was a real ego boost, let me tell you. The vast majority of people that play the game will have less things collected than you because you've been working on it. Evening Hazel stream. Hello Day. How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Finishing dinner, being an adult. Nice.
Feel the warmth of the sacred flame.
I got home today, and immediately, first order of business was hug the dog. Second order of business, outside pants come off. Inside pants come on. Sweatpants immediately. Reading up on investments, which I understand poorly. But you're reading about them. Did I get anything good? I got a... Oh, it's a trinket. Okie time for Undermine. Have you got a chance to try trinkets? Yeah, I did one game. And I didn't buy the season pass because I didn't really play enough last season to justify it. And also I'm being very cheap right now. So I played one game in which I had 2 hero choices. It was fine. I picked a good one. But we played duos and we disconnected about 30 times, it felt like. And to the end of at the end of the game, we were fighting for first place. But I couldn't see any combat runs because we would immediately disconnect and we would reconnect like halfway through the chopping round. It was unplayable. We did not get first place, and I decided I was going to give it a while before I tried it again because it was in such terrible shape. I ought to pick up these weeklies. I said I was going to do weeklies, and they're right in front of me. What do you want?
Your command?
You want me to do Arcara? I'm just not going to do that. I'm sorry. Let's admit that to ourselves right now. What do you want? Who else? Anything? No? Hello? Did I do it already? You don't want me to do some delves or something? Last time you did a late stream, notice the jeans. Yeah, they did make an appearance today, but I vanquished them immediately after coming home. They're comfy jeans too. I just desperately wanted to get comfy. We're going to Undermine. This hugging's the correct priority. He never fails to make me feel a million times better. Moose hugs can cure everything, I swear. The house hunting was alright. It was a cute house. We had kind of an awkward run-in with one of the neighbors, which I feel like really... It's not the only issue with the house, but I feel like it's really kind of crushed the momentum for that one. Not a great situation to set yourself up into. Compstom week for anyone that might do that. Awkward how. So we pull up and we park, and we're like approaching the house, and somebody from across the street comes out of their home. So they were clearly like watching at the window, and it's like, excuse me, can I help you? Can I help you? And we're like, yes, we're here to, you know, we're here for a showing. And they're like, oh, well, is like, I think they said the owner's name. And then we were kind of like, I don't think so, because their sellers are generally not present at house showings. Then our realtor comes out, and they're like, oh, okay, there's a realtor there. And I'm like, we're not breaking in. And they just, I don't know. It was very aggressive. Watching your Stratholme pet battle challenge now as I go through. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be some amount of like different types of people, and you can't really account for your neighbors. You can buy a place with the most wonderful neighbors ever that can move out next week, and somebody awful could move in. It's not something you can truly prevent, but it is something you can kind of walk away from if you see it on your first day. Yeah. Sounds Sounds like they could have used a gifted cake. Yeah, exactly. It could be good. They could keep an eye on things. You know, like if we had any safety concerns and anyone was poking around that shouldn't have been, I bet you anything that person would be on top of it. But I don't know. I just felt awful. It kind of ruined the whole showing for me because it was hard to, like, I looked at everything else and there are some other things that I'm maybe not 1,000% on anyways. Yeah, it's hard. We've seen a bunch of places, and I have met a fair handful of neighbors, and there's all kinds of different people. Yeah, I was also confused about the context clues thing because it's like the middle of the day. I'm obviously not sneaking around. I don't know. It would be a weird time to come do crime.
I'll be waiting.
First day of living, someone at the apartments I live in started yelling at me. Been here 3 years, no other issues.
Won't find better. Come back.
There was I had issues once with a downstairs neighbor a couple of apartments ago that lived under me for years. That would like call security on us and call the police on us for noise when we weren't making any noise, and they would talk about like the dog jumping around, and the dog at the time was like 9 pounds and also like calm. And you would like the hammering on the ceiling and everything, and it's like at the time, like my spouse at the time and I would be just like gaming quietly on separate computers, like no one's even walking around, and I hated that because you like, you know, that's your home. I'm not someone that goes out much. Whenever people complain about like a neighbor that doesn't go out, that's me. I'm always home. I'm always home. Cause I work here. And I don't really go out socially or anything like that. So, something like that can really ruin a place for me. She did eventually move out, but it took a couple of years. And I have a much larger dog now. Not that I'm trying to get into another condo if I can help it. What am I doing? Oh, I need to sign a cartel contract. I'm so silly. We got to do this in the right order. I'm going to sign a contract, and I'm going to pick up my chat list. Pardon me. First of all, I have been doing bilge water, which I should get to revered this week.
Watch your back.
Good stuff.
Let's go get our list.
Don't let them work you overtime.
I can literally hear the squirrels running on the wooden deck where my computer is. Some houses just sound amplifiers. Yeah. There's always going to be some level of noise when you live in housing with shared ceilings and floors and walls. Like, I've never lived in one where I could never hear the neighbors. It's just something that's kind of part of living in a place like this. And like, yes, you can be considerate. You can try not to make noise after hours, and you can maybe have your tap dancing studio somewhere else. But like, it's part of the deal. People are going to walk around. People are going to live their lives. We hear neighbors here all the time, but I don't mind because they're like nice people and they're happy. You know, it's not a fight. It's not, you're not listening to somebody being like, should I call the police? Like, those aren't fun situations to live in. And I've been there too. Where you're just like listening to somebody fight being like, terrible. What are we doing? We are checking our chat list and seeing what we're doing. We're going to do shipping. We're going to do 2 races. It's really unfortunate I did one of them before starting that thing. I guess I can just do it again. There's no reason it has to have a world quest up. There's one more race up there anyway. Although I'm right by a guy. I'll just do the race again. I am mainly doing chat for the achievement, for the part-timer achievement.
Watch yourself.
Chatmate, this one. I want to turn in 100 lists. Unfortunately, if you you can also use chat lists for reputation, but if you do that, you're not getting credit on this achievement. So I've pivoted to turning them into the robot to get work on this. I am 10% of the way there. Hurrah to me. Part-timer's a pretty cool title, yeah. Good headphones, yeah. Love me some noise-canceling headphones. Walls in my building are paper thin. Can hear upstairs neighbor cat when it meows. That is dramatic. I've never lived in a place that thin. I bet it's like an extremely loud cat, but holy moly. Oh. I did get to see a cat actually. The place that we toured today had a resident cat. And it was really cute because I've met quite a few cats doing like seeing houses. Sometimes there'll be cats that live there and they're very friendly, and sometimes there's neighbor cats that are outdoors and they'll see a new person and be like, oh yeah, and they'll trot up to you and want pets. And this cat, I'm pretty sure it must belong to the people that are selling the house because they had like a cat furniture and stuff. But it just starts walking in the door and then it sees us and then it freezes and it goes. And I like kind of knelt down, like on the spot. I didn't approach it, but I knelt down to see if it wanted to come over. And then it was like, nope. And it like turned around and trotted out like, I don't know who you people are. You are not my mom. It was very funny. Funny to hear it running around when it gets the zoomies. But it's always good to get out, even if we see a place that's not perfect. I don't think anything's gonna be perfect, but even if we see a place that's not the one, it's always good because we're seeing, you know, more neighborhoods, more comps, more options. What else? It's helping me get over my driving anxiety because I've driven a lot more. I think I've driven more in the last like month than I have the first 3 years I lived here. Why can't rogue poisons be perma? When's the next thingy? When's the next surge pricing? 5:30. That's I'll talk to you only in 40 minutes. Do another race. We had cat poo. Oh, a cat poo on the floor, like actively during a viewing. It's not something that was left there, but him just like, we get it, sir, your house. That's funny. Collecting more data, yeah. What am I doing? Party bazooka. You gotcha. You got it. Knowing traffic? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like checking out things like if you're driving to the grocery store, how far is it? What's the traffic like? What are the turns like? Are there any like really nasty like blind turns or yields with really poor visibility that you can't avoid? Stuff like that. Hi, buddy. Hi, sweetheart. What you doing, Wilbur? Hi. I don't actually smooch him on the lips, but sometimes I like to boot my nose to his nose and then make the smooch sound, and he seems to like that. I don't think he's gonna stick around for long, but if he does lay down, we can have little Lucy cam. There it is. Hope you're having a nice day. Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Be Happy. I've got 3 hobbies: chess, guitar, and reading. Oh, hi, buddy. Always feel it's more appealing to play and study chess, practicing the guitar, and sometimes I feel bad for feeling that way. I think I used to have a lot of feelings about the way I would cycle through hobbies, because I'm kind of a serial hobbyist. I will be very into something for 6 months to a year, and then I will be less into it, and then there will be a new thing, and I kind of go through phases. And what the peace I've come to make with myself, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but that's just where my experience is coming from, is that if it is something you're doing recreationally to unwind and for fun, and it's not like a side hustle, it's not something that you must succeed at, otherwise you're not going to get your scholarship or whatever, then do what is fun. Do what it is that you want to do. Forcing yourself to do something for fun is a little goofy. Obviously, sometimes if there's a skill that you really want to build, it's not always going to be fun 100% of the time that you're working on it. Something like guitar would be a lot more like energy intensive than your other hobbies. So maybe there's like certain times that you would prefer practicing guitar and certain times that it would be easier to do the other things. But and I tell this to people about gaming and WoW too. Like if you have a thing that's for fun and it's not fun, or you'd rather do something else, you have limited leisure hours in your life. Please enjoy them. Yeah, Dave's probably got the better question there. Gotta boop this new. Hi, buddy. See you later. Oh, he's stealthy. He had took a plushie off the shelf.
You made it. Any injuries? No? Too bad.
Did we do that first? My bags are so messy. All right, we've done that. So doing rares and then shipping will get this checklist done. I was gonna kind of put off shipping until oh, also we need to do the rest of we need to do the rest of the weekly or the daily quests, the world quests anyways, because they're gonna be good for. Oh, it's okay, buddy. Lucy's a bit upset because it's walk time and I'm not coming. Sneaky puppy crime. I know, buddy. I know. I know, and I wasn't home this morning. I'm so sorry. He does such a soulful woe face. He's got a very effective sad puppy look. Tips and how you potty trained Moose. I cannot take credit for that. He was just naturally super awesome at that. I didn't do much. When we brought him home, the fosters said that he was still having accidents sometimes, but only really with, he was only really making liquid messes and not solid messes. And he had been pee-pad trained at that time, and I knew that wasn't something that I wanted to do. I've always just been kind of a go outside kind of person because we are able to take him outside. So when we first brought him home, we waited forever outside for him to do his business. Like, I was out there walking up down the street, busy city, by the way, meeting like 100 people that want to meet my puppy, waiting for him to do his thing so that we could like throw him a party, give him treats, get really excited that he does his business outside. And then we would basically rush him outside anytime it looked like he might need to, or we would just give him chances really frequently. Because when he was young, he does need to go all the time. So we would on a schedule quite frequently give him a chance to go outside, stay out there until he went, and then reward him basically when he went. We also used a command for a while, but we don't do that anymore because it never really caught on with him anyways. And also I started doing it in a really goofy accent, and anyway. But yeah, we never yelled at him for any accidents or anything. We just kind of cleaned him up and got him outside so we could continue going or finish going if you ever needed to. And he just caught on really quick. Some dogs will have an easier time with that than others. I feel like every dog has like a secret like trait list that they roll when they're born, where some things they're going to be awesome at and some things they're going to be not so awesome at, and it's just complete luck of the draw. We did put some work in. We didn't just like ignore him and then hope that he would squirt it at a window or something. But like, he did not have very many accidents. We didn't have to do that for very long. He caught on very quickly. He also is just like chill to wait, which I know a lot of dogs aren't. Like, my mom's gonna look after him while I'm away on my honeymoon, and she was asking like, what does he do when he has to go outside? And I'm like, I don't know. He just kind of waits for you to take him out. Like, he only really comes to get you if he's having like tummy troubles. If it's just regular, like he's never really shown that he's dying to go. He just kind of like waits until it's walk time, I guess. Love your guides. Thank you very much.
Time to head out. Get a move on.
Gosh, if your question comes from having a puppy, my thoughts and prayers are with you. I love my puppy. I wouldn't trade him for $1 bajillion. I'm so glad that he's older now, though. Holy moly. Puppies are hard. Aunt's new puppy goes to the sliding door to tell us. What are we doing? We're doing a rare. It's nice to just kind of log on and doodle around and do world quests and weeklies. I'm surprised this thing happens. I kind of thought this was something I had to be with the noggin fogger for. Did they change that? Because I'm definitely Bilgewater right now. Did they make this so that anybody can work on it? Getting our first puppy on Monday. Bichon, congratulations. Yeah, I did a ton of research before getting Moose, and then some of it I'm sure was helpful, and then some of it didn't do it all. I had a lot of big ideas about how perfect me and my dog were going to be, and then I met my dog, and I was like, okay, we'll work on this. Right cartel to start it. Oh, someone else has to start it. Gotcha. Yeah, well, I'm gonna probably hang out in the area then until it... Because this one actually, I've heard... Don't know if this is true, but I've heard that these have a better chance of dropping miscellaneous mechanica, of which I'm walking around with 3 of 113. It's more of a meme than anything else at this point. Don't know if I do a puppy again. Always wanted to adopt an older dog. After adopting a puppy 1.5 years ago. Yeah. I think the trick with adopting a puppy is you have to wait until you've forgotten what it was like. I'm like that with kittens. I got Kira as a kitten, and I'm pretty sure she was a menace. But it was like 11 years ago. I don't remember. Like, if I ever get another cat, I'm totally open to another kitten again, because I've completely forgotten what it was like. Ballistically distribute the flesh? Hi, Mr. Sonic Jen. I bet Moose didn't do any research, and he trained you up nicely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just wung it, and he has me wrapped around his little finger. You're right. It is totally nice when pets can let you know with a, let me out. I gotta go. Moose is also a bit strange in that he sleeps in until you're ready to get up. Like, you have to sleep in until like 10 o'clock in the morning, which is crazy around here. You'd have to be like 2 hours late for the morning walk before he actually like tries to wake you up. He'll just kind of wait until you hear signs of life from the bedroom. Same with kids. The do a lot of research and then have to learn it on the fly anyway kind of thing.
Need a solution? I'll shake that right up.
How's this going? It's down to 20%. It was at 80. What happened? I'd like to do it, but not if we're going backwards. Maybe I phased. I think I Stockholm syndromed him into liking cuddles. I know not a lot of dogs don't like hugs. And I think I just hugged him until he's decided that it's fine. When he was a puppy, he would like just like, if you were petting him, he would be biting you the entire time. Like he would just like chomp, 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 chomp on whatever hand it was that you were using to pet the dog. And I think I just kept going until he gave up on the whole biting situation. And now he likes hugs. He'll come up to me for him, but I think that I did that to him by being obnoxious and insufferable. Kittens, more manageable because they're small and inherently potty trained. Maybe, but kittens can get everywhere. Kittens have a Z-axis. Is that the up and down one? Like, you're hopefully not gonna find your puppy at the top of your cabinets. Like, why? Yeah. The vertical one is what I mean. Kittens can scale things, including you. They also, I feel like, I guess maybe some puppies do this too, but the 2 a.m. zoomies are strong with kittens and cats of many ages.
Wrap it up. I ain't spending
Once the dogs start sleeping, the dog's normally just going to be asleep. I guess I'm just judging this off this one dog. Once Moosey was sleeping, he was sleeping. That was another thing that I was lucky with him, is that he slept through the night right away. He slept through the entire first night at home, and every night since. He's never once gotten up in the middle of the night to needing to go out unless he was like actively sick, in which case we were glad that he got us up because he really needed to go. I remember because the Y-tail is vertical. That's a good idea. My dog gets 2 a.m. zoomies and so do my adult cats. Oh. Z-axis, the wow thing. What if your dog learned it from the cats?
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
My dog is silent unless he's with my grandfather. Barks at him all night to play and wrestle. Aw. My dog is in love with my mother. She comes over to visit and she'll sit in the living room and Moose just lays at her feet and he'll put one of his paws on her foot and then put his chin on her foot like, don't go anywhere. You stay right here. I'm gonna sleep. He doesn't even do that with me. You check in this noggin fucker news and see if it's happening. My dog is a certified cat police officer. Alerts me when she believes the cats are misbehaving, so whenever they're wrestling, I am alerted. Aww. That's funny. Moose has a judgy look that he uses for whenever Kira's scratching on the couch, which I basically let her do now because, well, I don't really mind. And he'll look at her doing it, and then he'll look at me like, is she allowed to do that? You don't let me chew on the coffee table. What's with the hypocrisy? Pardon me. The hypocrisy, Mom. They both like this pink chair. I have a side chair in my living room that is pink. I want to state for the record, it's my chair. I purchased it. I picked it out. I paid for it. I accepted the delivery. I assembled it. So let it be known on the record, it's my chair. But somehow both Moose and Kira think it's their chair. And they get huffy whenever the other one is on it and they wanted to sleep on it. And it's not big enough for them to share. It's not even big enough for Moose to be on it, but he makes it work. Did I get anything good? Nope. Okay. And it's gotten to the, like, it's kind of a cold war over the chair because, like, they don't actually attack each other out of the blue or anything. They don't really fight at all because, well, Kira would die. She's very small. Moose will at most give her a lot of kisses to try to annoy her into getting up, and then I can kind of tell when he's doing that, and I'll tell him to leave it, and then he does. But he'll get to the point where nobody's in the pink chair, and Moose will just be sleeping somewhere else, and he'll see the cat walk up to it and think about it getting up on it, and he will get up and move to the chair before she can lay down on it, just to like preemptively claim it if he sees her side like angling up on it. It's very funny. I don't even think he wanted to be up there. He just wanted her to not get it. That's cute that you think it's yours. You keep telling yourself that. Every time they're fighting over it, I'm like, guys, I paid for it. My credit card, me. I am not Poison Rose. That is not any of my usernames. Dogs run up to cats scratching the couch, just stares at them like, you're not allowed to do that. What is this one for? Reputation. I think we're probably gonna stay on today until 6. It'll be a little bit of a shorter stream, but that puts us only just about halfway through. I guess it won't be that short. Over 2 hours and under 3. I wasn't sure I was going to get on at all. I wasn't feeling great before I turned on stream. I had some thought about just going back to bed, but then I thought, you just turn it on, play some WoW. It'll be good. It'll be fun. And it is. Leaky gaskets. I finally stopped playing chicken with my fridge and I went grocery shopping. I had been trying to sort of manifest getting a place to move into by eating all of my pantry. And I've never in my life actually managed to clean out my fridge to this degree without just throwing a ton of stuff out. Like, we actually ate through basically all of the stuff that not all of it, but basically like a lot of things that had just been kind of sitting there waiting for a moment. I actually managed to use a bunch of them. And then I guess I haven't been buying other things. Like if I'm making a recipe and it asks for like a certain type of sauce or seasoning, I'm like, what if we just made it without that? What if I didn't buy this thing because I'm being cheap right now? And we finally got to the point that I opened the fridge and it looked like I'd basically moved in. There was like a ketchup bottle and I don't know, not much. But I caved and went actually shopping in a real store with my own 2 legs. Shocking. Streaming helps me actually do these Nightfall events. Don't work up the motivation otherwise. The rewards are nice. I think I'm a little bit less motivated to amass alt gear because I'm not know if I'm burned out on my alts, but I'm basically, I think I did everything that I was more or less going to do. I think that alt raid that I did in my Warlock was kind of peak Hazel alt season. And now that that's done, I don't feel as motivated to keep grinding them out. We are still raiding. We skipped last week because our fearless raid leader was away, and some of us showed up and then voted on whether or not we should do it, and we didn't. But I think we're raiding tonight. Hopefully it's a short night. But we'll see. Once an hour isn't terrible if you catch the right time. Park the alts in the camp so it's easier to start if I remember. Nice. Yeah, I bet you I could be finished with it a lot faster than I'm imagining if I just used all these 80s for it, for the Night Flame event. Hit renown 3 for the first pet at least? Nice. Oh yeah, I forgot. I got renown 2 and I was gonna check and see what the toy was that I could buy. And then I didn't do it. They probably want a bunch of resonance crystals for it. I'm probably too cheap for it.
If Dark Fuse thinks we're gonna roll over and let him have Undermine, they
Surge
better
pricing in
think again.
20 minutes. Which I should... yeah, it's fine.
Red hot savings here.
Doesn't really matter which character we do it on. Full sets except for wrist and all armor types now goes faster than you'd expect. The hand crank mounting system always gets me because I think it's a miscellaneous mechanica and I'm like, wow, I got another one! And I did not. I did no such thing. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in my bags. I know there's still room, but this is no good.
Have I got
Hello,
something
excuse
for
me, can you help me? Okay, some of it's junk. Those are designs. I need to put some kind of an auto vendor tag on all of those, like, engine gear parts. The toy is 5,000 crystals! Holy smokes. What's it made out of? 5,000! You can buy a mount for that much! Alright. Let's do... I think that it's probably going to be fast. You know what? I'm going to do side gigs, actually, instead of shipping, because I'm going to need to do them anyways, and I may as well do them on a character that has... I don't know, gear. I do want to check and see if I'm revered yet with... Yes, okay, I'm revered with Bilgewater. I want to go see what I can get. If there's anything worth buying over here.
Dark Fuse.
Might be a pet I can get for, again, a lot of crystals, but at least that's a pet.
Well,
They
maybe
must
we
buff
should let 'em
Mechanica.
know
I
they
hope so.
found it.
I'm losing hope, though. I feel like if they were gonna, the moment was, like, a while ago.
What you need? I'll be waiting. Best deals in town.
Alright, I can now officially buy a Bilgewater junk collar. And a storefront in a box. Always gotta be prepared to set up shop. That is a lot of resonance crystals. I think I'm gonna do it, though. It sounds like fun.
Won't find better.
Let's see. 15-minute cooldown. Puts up a lovely little, It's not a pergola, but I feel a strong need to call it a pergola. Getting 75 crystals as reward. The best is when you're doing a delve and you loot a treasure and it's got 2 resonance crystals in it. It's like, oh wow,
How are
thanks.
these buildings
One for each hand. Like, what do you mean?
Go get some data so we can start placing work orders.
Yeah, you probably need less of them than anima. Anima came from more places, though, maybe. You don't get resonance crystals for every raid boss you kill. What am I doing? Safety code violations. That's what I'm doing. Speaking of crystals, I'm still waiting for my Crystal Girl era. Why can't that era be now? I'm not ready yet. It's not time. There will come a day. There will be a time. And when that day dawns, I'll know. I'll know. It's funny. Suddenly, crystals everywhere. We're gonna revisit 100%ing old content soon. Starting to feel like that's a good idea. I think that I'm gonna keep up with Undermine weeklies at the very least. So at least one stream a week, unless I start doing it off stream, which doesn't sound like me. It would be something like this. But then, I mean, that leaves us lots of other streams in a week that we can, we could maybe pivot to that. Because I think that after the Arcane Mage, I'll get him to 80. But then I think I'm probably done leveling alts for a bit. I know there's not leveling event. I think I'm done. I don't think I'm actually going to level a healer.
How many violations?
It would have been kind of fun. And we can always go back and do it later. Even if, like, the event ends and it takes a little longer, that's fine. That's not going to be life-ruining. If we truly want another healer, we can level one eventually. Scala isn't going to clear itself. That's right. It is a good vibe. The thing I love about the old content all the thing farm is it's got such a clear metric of success or failure. It's got such like an obvious sort of story thread to it. Of like, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. And this is the obvious thing that we're hoping happens at any point in blank. Number go up. It's very clear. It's very unconfusing. It doesn't have a million different pieces that interact in strange ways. It's not a currency farm. Currency farms are inherently they're more forgiving to the player, but they're inherently boring. Certainly to watch, if not do. Ever get a user video? User guide to setting up ATT. The closest I ever did was in a news video a long time ago. I talked about all the thing settings that I use to make the add-on less overwhelming for me. And that section is time-stamped with that link. That's the closest there is. Cheers. So many crystals geodes are dyed. Some are pretty. I think that no, I would be upset if I found out that it was faked in any way. It's not that I expect the rock to have any particular powers. What am I trying to say here? But it would still upset me if... It's like when I see a cactus that they've glued a paper flower onto. That makes me ill. I dislike that. Partly because it's bad for the cactus, and partly because it's a lie. You know. Yeah, I think the thing the appeal to the crystal, or like any other personal object, like the little mini plushies and stuff, it's not so much that the object has any specific explicit utility. It's the idea of having a possession that you imbue with significance by virtue of spending a lot of time with it or paying attention to it. The same way that you would be nostalgic for like a childhood item that you had that you spent a lot of time with. I'm kind of fascinated by the concept of being able to continue doing that at will almost. This morning before I went to a realty showing, I tucked a tiny octopus plushie into my purse. Just like a little one like that. And I didn't even think about it once while I was out there, but like I know it went with me, you know. It's just a tiny little cute thing that I feel like I do just to prove to myself that I have agency in my life, I guess. Something I'm working at with myself about possessions and things being mine. What is this? This is this is the Pet Battle Daily. That's not going to give me a reputation, I don't think, so we're going to move fast. Major reason my tattoos and piercings so meaningful to me. Makes a lot of sense.
Take a few swings at
Oh
the
no, not this
ball
World
course.
Fest. Although they're gonna give me 1,000 gold.
You earned it.
Investment in myself. Yeah, I think that kind of thing can also, and I suppose you could also have this be for objects that aren't on you, although I feel like for me, I'm thinking of piercings along the same degree as like tattoos or even like style choices, and that it's almost like a visual self-expression, that it's not part of you, although with piercings that line becomes fuzzier, but it's part of your your physical expression of your own personality. I suppose you could extend that to lots of things. Just having 45 houseplants of physical expression of my personality, kind of. Tough as an adult to say, yes, I want this thing because it makes me happy. But it rocks. How is it tough? Nothing wrong with all my toys. Nothing wrong at all. I think it's harder for some people to admit that to themselves, depending on what kind of environment they were raised in and what kind of social values get instilled into them. There are plenty of people that would absolutely give somebody a really hard time for engaging in something that they see as unnecessary or childish. And it can be hard to kind of like unstitch those messages from your own, it's really easy to kind of like onboard that kind of messaging. I like my toys a lot too, although if I had any lesson to remember for myself that I think I've learned pretty well by now, it's that I don't need a lot of them, because my favorite is always going to be the first one, like the early ones. If I collect 500 of a thing, I could have been 95% as happy as if I'd just gotten the first 3. And maybe even happier, because now you don't have to store 500 things. I think for me, knowing when to stop and just enjoy the thing that I have and not make it into like a consumer thing is important too. But that line's going to be different for everybody. One day we'll get to Vancouver Island. We're going to do our best to find some Dallasite. Not super flashy, but only found there. Is this something that you're going to find like on the beach and be able to like pick up and take? Or is it, well, setting aside the ethics of taking stones from beaches, or is it more like part of a boulder that you just kind of point to and you go, haha, gotcha.
Looks like you got the swing of it, huh? Yeah, I'll see myself out.
I know you've done your colored hair era, but I'm nearly 40, really enjoying silly hair colors. They're lots of fun. I think I may have another colored hair era one day, but probably not for a long time. Maybe in my 50s. Which is not as long of a time as I would like to think, but... Small stone that easily fits in the hand. Okay. This one. Bilge water diffuser activated. I struggled with this world quest for a while because I didn't realize you had to target the thing you were trying to defuse with it. And I got very stuck. I was like, it's Simon Says. It's match the color. How can I possibly be failing at this? And it's because I didn't have it targeted. 20 years, a long time. 17 years now. I'll be 33 this year. I know it's still a long time, but time goes pretty fast. Said the same thing 20 years ago. Love to find some rhodochrosite associated with where I live now in Colorado. Kept some nice fossils from my yard in Tennessee, kind of representative of homes. I love hearing you talk about rocks. Oh, I'm doing terribly. I'm gonna wait with this one out. Waiting for the Hazel Profession crafting arc so I can just watch videos to be efficient. Aww. I had a short one, but it didn't last terribly long at the beginning of The War Within. My last big one was my Alchemy era in Dragonflight. Felt silly but coloring my hair. Now that I'm done it, I'm noticing more elder millennials doing it too. Yeah, it's lots of fun. We're not coloring our hair, it's just going gray. You know my thing about my gray hairs, and don't tell me I don't have them. I absolutely do. There's plenty of them. They don't show up super well on camera, which we're fine with. It's not that they're gray. That's fine. It's not that I'm getting older. That's a privilege. It's the fact that they don't curl with the rest of my curls. They have a different texture than the rest of my hair, so they kind of stick out like TV antennas sometimes. They don't want to jam with the rest of my hair because my hair will have a curl pattern. It'll curl, and then the grays are like, nah, not doing that. They don't want to get with the program. It makes them stand out in a way that makes me want to pull them out, but I've promised myself I'm not going to do that because that's a great way to have less hair. Oh dear. All right, I did my world quests. Congratulations to me. I need to do side gigs and also shipping. Surge protection is going to be up in like 5 minutes. I think I'm going to do see what side gigs I can get through here. I forgot I was going to do those. I got sidetracked by the world quest, I think. I don't actually remember which I think we're going this way. Grays have a mind of their own. You can't get too attached to your hair texture as like an innate part of you because it can totally change. Not just from grays, but also hormones can change it as well. I've read lots of stories of people going through pregnancy or going through menopause, and then all of a sudden their hair is doing something totally different. It's rude. Rock hounding is great. Don't get out to do it as often as I want, but there's something very nice about getting your hands in the earth. Any hobby that gets you spending like a whole day outside, I feel like is so nice. That's what I love about fishing, is that it'll park me up on the shore of a lake or an ocean for like hours and hours at a time. And there's all kinds of things that you'll see when you're there for that length of time that you wouldn't see if you were just hiking through. There's plenty of wildlife that you'll notice only after you've sat in a spot and been quiet for a while. And it's hard because like otherwise, like if I go out for a hike, I want to be moving. I want to be hiking. I don't want to sit in one spot and not do anything. But if you put a fishing rod in my hands, I will be there until sundown. Wife going through pregnancy has a new wave in her hair. Hi, Scarlett. How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Went cycling for the first time this year on Monday. Was excellent. I missed it. I demand the rotation helper now, please and thank you. After my pregnancy, I started being allergic to shellfish. That's upsetting. That would be such a scary thing to figure out on the fly after like a lifetime of being able to eat it just fine. I've heard of that happening, but that's wild. What's your opinion on the Trader Post releasing three mounts each month and not giving more attendees? I think that the Trader's Post is very carefully calculated to make you feel like you want more attendees than you have, to keep people logging in to get more every month and to make people intrigued in buying any packs that they might put on the shop that might include attendees. I think that is calculated AF. I choose to cope by being mean. And by that I mean every time a post comes out, I'm like, don't need this. This is kind of ugly. I don't know. This thing freaks me out. This is no good. This is no good. This is a maybe. And I basically get almost nothing so that I have a huge stockpile of tenders so that if they ever do come out with something that I need, I have the power. Truly having the power would be logging off and moving on with my life, but let's not talk about that. 4,400 traders tender is a close second bet. That is the next best thing. Yeah, I also need the hedgehog mount. I agree. Search pricing in 2 minutes. I don't think I'm actually doing anything. What am I doing? No, I'm getting Dark Fuse research notes. There's one right here. I'm probably gonna have to come back for this because I want to make sure I hit surge pricing for the weekly that I want to do. Saving for housing items. That might work out. See you later. See you later, Pro Slashers. Thank you very much for stopping by. No shame in the AFK game. That's how I got my drop. I watched a movie last night that I'd never seen before. I was looking around for something cute and fun, and I clearly did not do enough research because I picked spoiler alert, mainly because I really like Jim Parsons. I've enjoyed every movie of his that I've ever seen. And I was like, oh, this is a cute rom-com. And Netflix was like, this is a rom-com. And the whole point of the title being spoiler alert is that the whole premise of the movie is the entire time you're watching the movie, you know that like you know that there's like a death at the end. Like that's the whole thing. They tell you in the first like second. It's not actually a spoiler. Like that's the whole point. But like I watched it anyways and it was really good. And I ugly cried through the last like 45 minutes of it. Like normally if a movie is sad, I'll cry like a little bit. Like I'll kind of like squeeze my eyes and a couple tears will fall out and I'll be a little sniffly. And then it'll be fine. I'll be like, oh, this is a good movie. But like I was like bawling. Like my partner was worried we were going to have to stop it because it was so good and so sad. All I want is a movie to ugly cry through. I highly recommend spoiler alert then. It was a wonderful movie. I loved it very much. I will never watch it again. I don't know. I don't know when I'm ever going to be emotionally ready to watch it again.
Break time? What? I'm working.
Back to Undermine. We got whatchamacallem. We got Uber to drive. It was called Spoiler Alert because the MC is a TV critic and he has his TV guide column. That's also a good tie-in, but I thought it was because the book that it was based on was the full title of Spoiler Alert, The Hero Dies, because it was based on a real-life book about their relationship with this person that eventually got sick. Marley and Me made me cry. Could never watch it again. How is the Arcane Mage streamer? Ooh, bad news. Fine. There will be more Arcane Mage, but I don't see a huge career for myself with it once I get him leveled. But yeah, it was very good. It was very charming. Last of Us makes me cry, but I love it. Yeah, I normally avoid movies that are too heavy because life's heavy enough. But it was good. I was glad I watched it.
Total your car. I call that a success.
I used to be able to put on just like cute like family movies, like Disney movies, whenever I was like feeling sick and I just wanted like a cute feel good thing. And that used to always entertain me and cheer me up. And I don't know what happened, but I reached a point in my life where even when it's the thing that I'm specifically in the mood for, I just get bored. Like I don't have the same capacity to sit and watch those movies anymore that I did in my 20s. Maybe my brain got melted by years and whatever, but it makes it harder to find cute, fun movies to watch because I'm too worried that I'm going to pick something that's too simple or straightforward and doesn't have enough depth and get bored. But then, of course, if it has too much depth, then it's going to be rough. It's tough. I guess tough is the wrong word. Tough is something that we use for things that are actually hard, not like trying to find a movie to watch.
Job, Dollface. You make sure I got my cutting attempt
Good
right.
job, Dollface. I'm going up the hill, up the stairs. I always love watching rom-coms. I also love them, but I hate so many of them. I've watched so many bad rom-coms trying, like, because a good one really did it for me and trying to, like, chase that high of, like, a really good rom-com. And I feel like a lot of them are really mediocre. It's a tough thing to nail.
Great work, Toots.
You know how I said Demon Hunters are boring? They are not. There you go. You having fun? How goes the mission to get more Battle Pet songs in the game? I regret to inform you that that is not my crusade. I sympathize with the struggle. It's not something that's ever bothered me. I think I'm fine with it. Hi, chat and streamer. Hello, Edsky. How you doing? Good evening. See, right now I'm listening to the Under My music and I'm trying to like I'm trying to listen to the pet battle music in my head. Do, 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 do. Yeah, that's it. That's how it starts anyway. Would battle more if I didn't hate the music. Well, you know you can turn it off. I guess you would have to turn off all music intermittently whenever you want to do a pet battle. That would be inconvenient for sure. If that's not my crusade, what is my crusade? I don't think I have one. There's an add-on that lets you put whatever music you want instead of the default pet battle music. There you go. You home, buddy? Did you want to come say hi? Did you have a good walk? What is it, bud? Lucy's looking at me like he wants to play.
Record time, sweetie. I'm moving you to the top of my Rolodex.
Lucy, Lucy. Sometimes I like to chant, throw him a party. I don't think he's coming in here. He's thinking about it. I'm sorry, you got the wrong girl. I am curious what they're going to do next for pet battle content, or if they're... I'm hoping that they do have something that they eventually do next for pet battle content, and they don't just kind of more of the same until it eventually goes the way of archaeology. That would be vaguely depressing.
Honey, sweetie, baby, sugar plum angel face. Thanks for completing that job. My pocketbook thanks you too.
I still like doing this for the chat list. It's fun. It's fun to do maybe 10 jobs at a time. Now that I have the, Hi. Oh, is that for me? Now that I have, all the mounts from it, though, I feel like, it's a little harder to get excited about it. Do you like the customization for pets? Wanted to extend to more of them. Ooh, that's an interesting question. Because they are adding that new, basically, rostrum for pet customization. I think it would be nice on select pets. I don't want them to do it to things like... Well, actually, here's a question. What's your take on them using that for... You know how some pets... Arathi Chicken is an example. The same pet ID will come in different colorways. And it's just one pet. So, like, you could only have 3 copies at most, but there's, like, 7 or 8 different colors it could come in. What's your take on them using that pet customization rostrum? And this isn't what they're doing, so don't get too excited. But, like, what if they did use that to allow you to select which cosmetic version of the pet? Do you think that's too easy? Do you think it takes away from variant farming? Or do you think that would be a cool use of that tech? I think the amount of people specifically farming cosmetic variants of battle pets is probably, like... a very small part of the player base. I put a very thoughtful post on the forums about updating archaeology, and I guess that's my crusade. With the bombshell crab. Because plenty of pets, like, they have one model and that's it, but there are a handful of them that have different colors within the same pet. What sounds good for dinner? I mean, I have leftover pizza. I don't know if there's anything I can do to make that healthier for someone who feels like they're coming down with a cold, though. You dip the pizza in the ramen. At the grocery store last night buying ramen. And I found that there was a house, like a store brand, 50-cent pack of ramen that I could purchase. And I don't think I've seen any food items cost less than $1 in 10 years. And, my partner was joking about it, and I was looking at it. I was like, you know what? I'm buying one. I want to know, for science, how bad could it possibly be? Garlic and ginger as toppings. Oh, on the pizza. I did get fresh ginger because I've been dying to make smoothies. I make this ginger mango lemon smoothie. The lemon's just like a little bit of lemon juice. It's basically a mango, ginger, bananas. It's so good. It's so yummy. I love fresh ginger. You can just chop it up and put it in the smoothie, and it just makes everything delicious. I can't have a smoothie for dinner, though. That's silly. Plus, I'm hungry. Maybe that's a good sign that I'm not getting, like, super sick. I feel like when I'm normally coming down with a big cold, I don't get super hungry until I'm getting better. Do we do it? Almost. Could be dessert. Oh, geez, it's raid night. Oh, no, it's raid night. I completely forgot about this when I was thinking about staying on for X amount of time on stream. I might need to go a little bit early. Because I have to eat something before raid. This did not occur to me. I got on so late, I completely forgot that I was going to have to raid in a bit. Okay. I'm going to finish my chat list, and then I'm probably going to log off until tomorrow. Leftover chicken, mushroom, garlic pizza in the fridge with white sauce. Oh, you're living. Happened to me last week. I'm kind of queen of finishing dinner like 30 seconds before raid, if not just getting my plate at my desk and doing it that way. Stream raid? No. I need to lump. I need to turn off my lights and be a gremlin and drink tea and have nobody see me. I know it's farm. It's not that I couldn't do it. I just want to be a gremlin in a cave and not talk to anybody for a bit. I've had a really long day. Happy with my tofu bowls recently? Ooh, what do you put on them? I got a new block of tofu and I was gonna do something with it. Yes, normal stream time tomorrow, unless I wake up and I feel like absolute death, in which case I will go back to bed. I am, I think, fighting off some kind of a cold, but I feel kind of sort of okay right now, so we'll see. Did I open this? Oh. Is he gonna come see it? Is there gonna be a puppy? Moosey! Moosey, you gotta come help me wrap up stream. Moonbear? Moonberry Muffin? Mr. Moose? I can hear him moving around. Are you— Hi! Your ball's over here. He's not interested. Missy, you gotta come say hi. You just gotta. Here. Missy. There we go. We got a little bit of puppy cam. We got a little bit. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hi. Touch my fingers. Sorry. Squeaky ball. Okay, I gotta go. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Normal time is the plan. If I change anything, I will post in Discord and update the stream title. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.